What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Arizona Unplugged. I'm on the road, heading to town. Why am I heading to town? Oh, and I thought you were going to your homestead. I thought you were going to get some work done. Yeah. Well, apparently weather has changed my mind. So I got to the homestead yesterday. Got a lot of work done yesterday. Got a lot of work done today. But apparently we have a storm rolling in tonight. And so tonight and tomorrow, and maybe even the next day, some bad weather. So I knew I had to go to town anyways. There's more material I need to purchase. And I couldn't do it before because I needed my trailer, which is now behind me. So I'm going to town. I'm going to hit a Home Depot. You know, closest town's like 100 miles away. It's about an hour and a half or so. So I'm heading there right now. I'm going to get all the stuff I need now before the weather hits. So I'm not driving through mud and snow and all that garbage. It is pretty treacherous when there's bad weather to get to my place. It's pretty treacherous. The last thing I want to be doing is pulling a heavy trailer up a mountain on muddy roads. That's just, it's not a good idea. So that's one thing. Once again, I want to go back to, you know, should you move off a grid? If you're considering living off grid, if you're considering a lifestyle change that you're not really used to, you have to pre-plan pretty much everything. And if you plan on traveling to the city to get supplies, you have to look at the weather. You have to look at, you know, road conditions, all those things you got to take in consideration. Whereas if you're in the city or the suburbs, you just get in your ride and you go. You know, it's right down the street, no big deal. There's the only thing down the street for me is more trees and more rock and more mountains. That's the only thing down the road from me at my place. So I'm heading to town to load up the trailer, and you have to expect the unexpected. And I'll give you an example. So I hooked up my trailer, and I have a big electrical plug from the trailer. It plugs into my truck, you know, for lights and brakes and all that stuff. Well, going down the dirt roads from my place to the highway is about 20 miles of bumpy roads. And to beat the weather, I was kind of punching it. I was going fast, just like I'm going now, because I got to beat this storm. I got to get home before the storm kicks in. It's supposed to be here around 6 or 7. And it's 2 o'clock now, and this is like a 4-hour minimum round trip. So, anyways, to make a long story short, that plug pulled out of my receiver in my truck and bounced for 20 miles probably, and it broke. The road, sanded the plastic down. There's no plug is what I'm saying. The plug to my trailer is now destroyed. Once again, you know, you got to expect the unexpected. I'm currently driving without my brakes on my trailer, which is another reason why I'm pushing it right now. I don't want to do this in dark for sure. Good thing is my truck is so big, and my trailer is a flatbed, so it's really low. So even with a load on here, if I hit the brakes, people behind me will be able to see my truck brakes. But still, I'm hoping not to get pulled over. And if I do, I'll just explain to the trooper what's going on, what happened. You know, I live down a bumpy road and the thing fell off. You know, what can I say? Give me my ticket. Let me be on my way. So expect the unexpected. You guys, here's the thing about living off grid. And this is one thing I've learned, because we've had this place for quite a few years, like 5 years or so. And I'm used to the ranch life. I had a ranch for 10 years. So I'm used to this type of stuff. But if you're not used to it, you have to understand that things are not cushy and soft like they are in town. You don't necessarily always flip your light switch and the lights turn on. You know, if you need a simple ingredient for a recipe that you don't have, you're not going to town to get it, because that's just, it's too much, it's too far. You have to have everything. So, you know, I'm getting a few more things. I'm getting gasoline while I'm out here. This truck is a diesel. I'm getting gasoline for my generator. Again, we're supposed to get really bad weather. Solar panels don't like to work when they're covered in snow, so I'll have to keep that cleaned off. But I mean, there's so many variables just in living that you have to understand before making that plunge to an off-grid lifestyle. All you off-gridders that are watching this, right? Am I missing something? Just be very careful. Moving off-grid is, and I said this yesterday, it is no joke. It is fun and it is exciting. Every day is an adventure, just like today is an adventure. But things can turn south really quick. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for that. If you're not, it could, unlike being in town where you just stick your thumb out and you can get a ride home, that's not a possibility when you're, 10 miles down dirt roads where no one ever drives. Especially in December winter conditions up at 6,000, 6,500 feet when there's a storm moving in. That's a recipe for death. It really is. And I don't want to be doom and gloom here, but I want to be honest. And I want to be, truthful and transparent about what it's like to not be around people. You have to rely on yourself. You have to rely on yourself. You have to learn skills. You have to have a skill set. You can't just be a gringo from town that's lived in the city your whole life and expect to be successful living off grid. I mean, sure, I guess it's been done. I would hate to even attempt it because, once again, it can be the difference between life and death. It really can be. So take these things in consideration, if I could speak. Take these things in consideration if you're contemplating a life out of the city, in the woods, in the mountains. Things go south real quick, and you have to be prepared for that. So, I have food currently cooking in a crock pot back at the homestead. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm a little bit hungry now. I just got off the phone with the wife because I finally got cell signal. And she's like, "Oh, you're going to town. Well, you can stop and get dinner." I was like, No. I got some nice beef stew waiting for me. It's been cooking all day long. I'm waiting for that. I'm getting that. So there you go. Once the weather passes us and it starts to get nicer, I want to probably go for a little hike, take you guys with me, and document it, and hang out with you guys a little bit more. But until then, be careful out there. You off-gridders, you homesteaders, mad respect to you. Again, it is not an easy thing. There's a lot of misconceptions about living off-grid. People watch videos and movies and whatnot about people that have had it with the city and they're moving out and they're gonna rough it out in the sticks. No, they're not. No, they're not. If you are not fully prepared, you're gonna have a rough go at it. Thank God the wife and I have been preparing so far about 5 years now, and we're still not living out there. Again, we don't take this decision lightly. We're very serious. This is a once and only one time thing. We're planning on living and eventually dying out here in the mountains of Arizona. We don't want to move out anywhere else. So we're going to make sure we are well prepared and fully ready for this. So if you guys have any questions about the off-grid lifestyle, living off-grid, solar, rain catchment, any of that stuff, hit me down in the comments. If you haven't done so and you've found this channel by accident, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you guys. Until the next time, prep and thrive. See ya.